Today we're going to be multiplying with decimals. I'm going to tell you the steps as we go. So the first problem that I'm going to put on here, 624 times 2 decimal 8. So step 1, you're going to set up the problem by lining up the numbers not by decimal. Okay, so you're going to set up the problem by lining up the numbers, not with the decimal. So all I did is I lined my numbers up. The next thing we're going to do, multiply. You're going to go ahead and multiply just like you normally would. So 8 times 4 is 32. Bring down my 2, carry my 3. 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 1 is 49. So I'm done with my first digit. Remember, before you start multiplying the second number, you need to put a place holding 0. And then multiply your second digit. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 6 is 12. Now, one thing you need to be careful to do is make sure that your numbers are staying lined up. If you try to put them squished in or too far apart, it's going to mess up your answer. So be really careful you keep your numbers lined up. So now we're going to add 2, 17, 14, 7, and 1. So I set up my problem by lining up the numbers, not by the decimal. I went ahead and multiplied. Now for your decimal. So that's your third step. This one's a long one. You're going to count the number of digits. You're going to count the number of digits behind the decimal, or decimals. Because sometimes you're going to have more than just one decimal. So you're going to count the number of digits behind the decimal or the decimals. This number of digits, will match the number of digits you have behind your decimal in your answer. So you count the number of digits behind the decimal or the decimals. This number of digits will match the number of digits you have behind your decimal in your answer. So for example, I have no numbers behind a decimal here, but here I have one number behind my decimal. So I have one digit behind my decimal. So in my answer, I need one digit behind my decimal in my answer. So as you can tell, one digit behind your decimal, one digit behind your decimal. And that's your answer. Now we're going to do some more examples like this, And I'm going to use that same multiplication problem, but I'm going to put the decimal in a different spot so you can see the difference between them. So here would be another one. This time we're going to do 62 and 4/10 times decimal 2/8. Again, same numbers, but we have the decimal in a different location. So the multiplying should be easy. Two times 2, 4 is 8. 4, 6 times 2 is 12. Again, I'm being very careful to keep my numbers lined up. So we have 2, 17, 14, 7, and 1. Again, we have the same number, but now you have to make sure you know where the decimal goes. So we have 1 digit here behind the decimal, 2 digits there behind the decimal. So we have a total of 3 digits behind the decimal. So 1, 2, 3. So my decimal, my answer needs to go 1, 2, 3. Or you can count with your little bunny hops. 1, 2, 3. So that's where the decimal goes. Now let's do a couple more examples just to make sure you get this. So let's use those same numbers that we were multiplying. This time, let's do 6 and 24/100 times 2 and 8/10. Okay, 8 times 4 is 32. 16, 17, 19. 48, 49. Now I'm going to put my placeholding 0 down here. 8, 4, and 12. So again, I have the same numbers, so I'm going to add. Now, let's find out where your decimal goes. How many do you think? Well, we have 2 numbers, 3. So we have 3 digits behind your decimal. So we need 3 digits behind your decimal. So 1, 2, 3. And that's where your decimal goes. Try another one. What about this? 624,000 times 2800. Again, all we did was put the decimal in a different location, which changes the whole number, which will also change your answer. So let's see. 32, 19, placeholding 0, 8, 4, 12. So 2, 17. Now, this time, how many numbers or how many digits do I have behind the decimal? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I need 5 numbers behind the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 numbers behind the decimal. Pretty simple. All right, one more, and then we're going to call it quits. How about if this time we have decimal 0, 0, 6, 2, 4 times decimal 2, 8. Again, using the same primary numbers that we have so far, but we're going to see where the decimal goes this time. Placeholding 0. Oh, almost messed up. See how my number got way too big? Need to make sure they stay lined up. Okay, this time I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 numbers behind my decimal. So I have 7 digits behind the decimals. In my problem, I need to make sure I have 7 digits behind my decimal in my answer. So, let's see what happens when we do bunny hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only have 5. So you're going to have to make 2 more bunny hops. 6, 7. So the decimal is going to go right there. And in those empty loops, you're going to put zeros. So I have decimal 0, 0, 1, 7, 4, 7, 2 as my final answer. I hope this clears things up for you. See you next time.